Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NNN Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and today we are going to be talking about raising some funds for Harvey victims. And today I have two special guests, and to my right is Pallavi Kumar, who is the artistic director of Lasika School of Dance. Did I get that right?
Yes, you got it. Thank you so
That's
much.
Good. And next to her is Bangar Reddy, who is very well known, and he is a great community leader, and he's going to tell us more about his background and his involvement with the Harvey recovery efforts. First of all, this program is being videotaped and streamed through YouTube, our channel NIK NIKAM, where we have more than 1100 videos and more than 6,000 subscribers. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have a Facebook page, which is NANO News Network or NNN Network, where we bring you the latest news, views, and opinions from all around the world. Today, as I said, we are going to be talking about raising funds for Harvey victims. I shouldn't say Harvey victims, but to benefit the people who have been affected by Hurricane Harvey. And Pallavi is going to talk to us about first about her Lasika, right?
Yeah, it's Lasika School of Dance.
Lasika School of Dance, and also about a new foundation she has been involved with, is Samradana?
Samradana, yes.
Samradana School,
Samradana Foundation.
So she has been involved with the Samradana Foundation. So let's start off. Pallavi, give us a little bit about your background and tell us about your school. And then we'll learn something about Samradana Foundation, and also about this classical dance as a means to raise funds for the Harvey recovery efforts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nick-ji, for having me here. So, like you said, I've been initiated into dance since I was, since the age of 4, and with more than 3 decades of my life revolving around dance. I've seen the value and the benefit that I got being raised around being exposed to a lot of dance, classical dance, I must say, seeing the stalwarts of best, and also having an opportunity to show our talent in various opportunities. Now, as a teacher, I formed Lasika in 2015, and this summer we started Samradana Foundation, now with an aim to preserve and promote the aesthetic beauty of these classical dance forms in Houston. And we plan to accomplish that by engaging more and more of our own local aspiring dancers who are abundantly talented. And as you know, Houston is so fortunate because of amongst 8 classical dance forms from India, we are fortunate to have 5 of them being taught by experienced teachers here in Houston itself. So I thought as a first initiative, we should first come together, all the dance teachers, dance forms together, because that's how I grew up. Like I said, I kind of felt that kind of exposure is hugely lacking. There are other non-profit organizations doing similar work, but again, with the amount of dancers that are graduating from these schools every year, there are so many dancers and there are very few opportunities. So the focus of Samradana is to create those kind of opportunities. And as you know, it's not an easy task to take dance up until Arangetram to start with, right? Yes. So it takes a great amount of work and such a commendable effort they put in taking it to like Arangetram, pre-Arangetram or post-Arangetram phase. Yeah. So once they come to that phase, we need to fuel their interest and then keep them motivated by incentivizing with some nice platforms and opportunities so that they stay motivated and take it further into their artistic journey and make it as their way of life, just the way I grew up. So it's our aim and our focus to kind of bring that kind of ambience to the dances. Now, as a first initiative, Nartana, this is a youth classical dance festival. Like I said, we have invited practically every classical dance teacher and that I know exists in Houston. So we have more than 80 performers. And these are all senior disciples who've been in dance for a prolonged period, gained a lot of expertise and very dedicated and committed in their own respective dance form.
Let's talk about, since you are talking about bringing all the different forms of classical dance from various parts of India. That reminds me, I'm a cardiologist, and if two cardiologists get in the same room, they start having rashes. So it must be commendable for you to bring all these different forms of classical schools on one platform, so I want to commend you on that. For the benefit of people who are not familiar with the classical dance, first let's talk about your background in classical dance, what form, and let's introduce them the various types of classical dances all across India. Then we move on to the fundraising efforts and bringing so many children to one platform. That's really great.
Sure. So I am from Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi background. I've learned these two dance styles, and I've done my master's in performing arts, specialized in Kuchipudi from Hyderabad. And when you ask about the different forms we have, so we have about 8 classical dance forms in India. So we have Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kuchipudi, Kathakali, Odissi, Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, and Kshatriya. Okay, so other than the Kshatriya, Manipuri, and Kathakali, the rest of the forms are being taught here in Houston.
I see. Oh.
So these are the 8 forms. So we have Sangeet Natak Academy, which is a central board for music, drama, and music, dance, and drama, who actually confer the status as to any art form as classical. So because they kind of look into various technicalities, whether the rules, whether these dance form falls under Natya Shastra and all that stuff. And that's how they are termed as classical. Now, with all the 5 forms here, past few years, I've been seeing some really talented, young, serious dancers. And I kind of felt that I should bring all together and create a platform, like a social networking platform where all these dancers get to know who is who, because we don't want to work in a nutshell, because art belongs to people. It has to flow from one generation to other generation. So all these young kids, we don't want them to be just dancing within their 4 walls or just do 1 or 2 performances here and there, because they've come this far. So the idea was to bring them together to kind of see who is who and create more collaborative opportunities, like Odissi dancer can collaborate with Kathak, or Kuchipudi can collaborate with Odissi. They can also even draw comparisons and synergies and similarities between art forms. And you don't know, you need to tap these creative minds constantly. And that's what we are focused on.
Absolutely, because, now more often we see fusion, even in musical form. We have classical South Indian Carnatic music, then we have Hindustani music from the north side. More often than not, we see a fusion now of both Carnatic and Hindustani classical music. And it makes a lot of interesting presentation when we bring all different forms. How challenging was it to bring all these different classes together?
Absolutely not at all. I was going to address that before I could finish, that I must absolutely be so grateful to many dance teachers in town who personally know me, and even those who don't even know me. When I shared my idea, my goal and objective behind creating this platform just for the senior dancers, that's the criteria to enter the festival. They have to be only senior most and the cream of their dance school, and that's where my vision was, and all the teachers were so excited. And imagine after Harvey how hard it was for teachers and parents to put their life back into place amidst so much of chaos. They came forward, and tremendous response, I must tell you. And that shows the collaborative spirit and synergy that all dance teachers have in Houston. And it's a great way for all of us to come together and put our art for a good cause, which is to help. And once we kind of put this together, the Samradana put all this together, the next thing was we want to put art for a good cause and donate all our net proceeds to a non-profit who are doing great work. And I personally have been involved and seen with my own eyes how awesome VT Seva was in terms of coordination, efforts, and so it was no brainstormer for me. It was like, okay, let's give effort, and it's because let's all the experts come together and work smarter than work harder, and that's how it is. And I am again very, very grateful to all the dance teachers who are coming forward and taking part in this festival.
That's fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the NNN Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and all our programs are video stream through YouTube through our channel NIK NIKAM, where we have more than 1100 videos and 6,000 subscribers. And please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can also visit us on Facebook, which is NNN Media, where we bring you the latest news, information, and any kind of events from all around the Houston area. Okay, let's talk about it is titled as Nartana. What does Nartana mean, and what's its significance?
Nartana means it means dancing. It is dancing, yeah. And for us classical dancers, dance is not a mere physical activity. It is a blissful joy. It is something that needs to be experienced and not to be told. And that's what Nartana is. And as you know, all classical dance forms are very devotional by nature, because this dance was created by Lord Brahma himself. That's what the history tells us. And so, which is why it's a blissful joy. It's a complete yoga. You name it. I mean, you have every science in this classical dance. And which is why I, as a dancer and as a mother also, when I see how hard it is for this generation kids to balance dance, classical dance, on top of the academic pressure and the distractions they have. And if they've come this far to be a senior student, to do Arangetram, they must move on, and something should really keep them going and feel that we made the right choice, and they should make it as their way of life. And that's what I will be joining so many other teachers and other organizers who are doing, again, like I said, great similar work.
Okay, let's give out the information about where this is going to be held and at what day and what time.
Absolutely. So, Nartana Youth Classical Dance Festival, featuring all the Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kuchipudi, Odissi and Mohini Attam dance forms by many senior disciples from more than 20 schools and more than 80 performers. You get to have a rare opportunity to see them on October 22nd. At Meenakshi Temple, right at 3:30 p.m. Now, you can buy tickets, and we have the VIP tickets for $50, and then for $15, which again, Bangar Garu can elaborate more on that. Sure. But again, like I said, all net proceeds will be given to VT Seva, who are doing great work in helping underprivileged children affected due to Harvey. So, you are coming and not only encouraging our own local dancers, and helping them kind of in their artistic journey, but also it is also a great opportunity for the dance students who are learning, who can actually look up to their own peers and their own seniors to measure where they stand and how far they can go, and at the same time helping for a great cause. So that's
fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the NNN Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and today we are talking about raising funds for Harvey. It's a Harvey benefit recital, which is going to be highlighted by classical dancers from all across India. Brought to you by, of course, our guests, Pallavi Kumar. And you mentioned about VT Seva, and I would like to turn to Bangar Reddy. Before we go on to this topic of fundraising, Bangara, let's give out a little bit about your introduction, because you are a great community leader. You are tremendously involved in all Indian activities, and also particularly the Telangana group. And give us a little bit background, and then everywhere. That's it. Then we'll talk about, because if Harvey was as devastating as it was, but the most heroic work was done by volunteers like VT Seva and also Seva International and many other Indian organizations, which really worked in the trenches, digging all this mold-filled sheetrock and all these things. So let's...
Thank you, Nick. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Nick, and also Pallavi Kumar Garu for starting this Samradana Foundation. And we are going to talk more about this Youth Classical Dance Festival that is coming up. But before that, I want to talk about Hurricane Harvey and the aftermath and how VT Seva responded. And as you know, that it's been a wonderful journey in terms of, how initially so disappointed we are to see the devastation in Houston. And we really lived through it. And we had great experience in terms of how we responded to the in terms of rescue efforts. First, we started rescuing the people on the boats, and we jumped in, and we are able to go to different places, like in First Colony, right? In this, within 2 minutes from this studio.
Yeah.
And also, Katy, and also in the Millwood areas. And we started with rescue, then we continued with relief efforts. As you have seen, we have almost helped about 250 houses and almost 500 volunteers put a very good amount of time, even leaving their offices. It's a great effort.
Yeah.
And then you have seen all the family members have come together. It's a community helping the community. With their help, and also Ashtalakshmi Temple and other organizations and many Indian restaurants, we were able to provide 20,000 plus meals
That's
during
amazing.
this difficult time.
Yeah.
And not only the preparation, and including Pallavi Garu has prepared one day, it's Pallavi Garu's turn.
I see.
So everybody have
yeah.
come together and prepared the meals, and then distribution of food is not an easy effort. We provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 different locations.
Yeah.
And then we enter into basically supplying different kinds of needs that they need, whether it's a fan or whether it's a humidifier, those kind of supplies also we received from non-profit organizations, and then we distributed that. So it's a collaborative effort of various organizations, restaurants, families coming together and helping the community for almost 3 weeks, 24/7, VT Seva on the ground available to help the community.
Yeah.
And you have seen, and
yes.
VT Seva is the talk of the town.
That's right. In fact, you invited me to come to Katy, and I went around with Nirmal Roy, and we drove through this entire neighborhood, which looked like a Holocaust area, like a nuclear Holocaust, and the piles and piles of debris, all piled in front of every house in the neighborhood. I, in fact, made a video of that, and it's on our YouTube channel. You can watch that one. Okay, let's continuing further now. What efforts are you all taking in continuing support for the Harvey
have
victims?
In the second phase, which is rebuilding efforts, and that's where we thought it's the time to raise money, especially people needs money for especially the underprivileged. There are so many unfortunate families, and it is the time for our community to help the mainstream. And as you have seen, this is one of the festival. We are working with Pallavi Kumarji and other dance schools for this youth classical dance festival put together by Pallavi. And what is happening is the youth classical dance festival, that means youth dance children coming forward and helping with underprivileged children. It's a great connection.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud to see this, and especially coming together. And this is happening next Sunday, that is on Sunday, October 22nd at 3:30 p.m. And VT Seva is very thankful for coming forward. And VT Seva is the right organization that Samradana has chosen. Yeah. And we make sure that every dollar this we raised goes to the underprivileged children, that they are unable to go to school, or they need immediate supplies, or they need food. So any kind of monetary help that we need, that is the area we are focusing right now. Help the children so that they have to go to school, they have to come back to their life. So that's the focus, and that's why we are collaborating with Samradana Fundation to raise funds. And I request everyone to buy the tickets, and they can go to vtsworld.org, and you can pay the donation there, and in that you can mention Samradana Foundation, so that we know that this has come from this event, and it directly goes to the underprivileged children.
Okay, Pallavi, maybe you can give us some information. Do you have a website for your Samradana Foundation?
Yeah, they can go to pallavikumar.us/Samradana, and that's where you'll find the flyer of this event there, and which has all the contact numbers for the people to reach out to. So we have representatives in Sugarland, in Katy, Cypress, and practically every section of Houston that they can reach out to collect tickets, or they can go online and donate, and they can tell us where they are. We can make the necessary arrangement for the tickets.
Also on the flyer, you have many names listed here. Yes. For tickets, they can contact any one of us. Surendarji, Pallavi Kumar, myself, Kishore Ramaraju, Raj Bhatta, Shruti Bompalli. These are the people working. And Padmajaji from Katy. And they can call any one of us. We can make sure they get the tickets.
Yeah, even if you are not able to make it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can get on the website and donate money. Let's give out the web address again so that if someone is not able to make it on that particular day, maybe they can just
vtsworld.org.
I see, yeah.
And they can also alternatively go to astalakshmi.org, but do not forget to mention Samradana Foundation. And all your donations are tax deductible.
Yeah.
Pallavi, maybe you can give us some idea as to what is the direction of your Samradana Foundation in the coming years.
Absolutely. Like I said, our primary focus is only the local dancers. Last few years, I've seen such abundantly talented ones. By creating some interesting projects and entitling them to their responsibility to conduct seminars, to conduct workshops, I want them to be on the forefront and do it. Because what happens is, we have, organizations bringing guest artists from India, and we need that. Our children need to see what quality really means in their art form. It's a great way to get inspired. But many a times I also saw people thinking that, these artists, they practice 4 hours a day in India. Well, we have 10 things in our plate, so we'll never reach there. So it wouldn't, they think it's not relevant to them. But when they see their own local peers, seniors from respective schools, how they're juggling between 10 things and still have come this far to keep up with the art form, I think it's a great way for the young students to get inspired that one day we want to do that.
That's absolutely.
So that is what Samradana is primarily going to focus on. The local dancers, like I keep saying this again and again. I mean, once we get exhausted, then I'll look out, but I don't think we'll ever be exhausted because we have so much talent in Houston, actually. And that's what, like I said, workshops, seminars, more and more festivals, and more interesting ways to engage them, and performing platforms, more so to come, more collaborative works to be able to do it and kind of give that support and encourage them in whatever way we can. And that's what I want to see Samradana to be branded as.
That's fascinating.
And it's not easy, putting together all these dance schools, talking to and making sure that it's a collaborative effort from everybody.
Absolutely.
Really
and like I said, I'm still a newcomer, so when I had such lofty thoughts, I first wanted to introduce everybody with who's who. That was the whole idea behind calling everybody, and I thought it was a perfect time where they could be the entire dance fraternity could come together and stand up against the aftermath of Harvey. It is a nice way to actually even dedicate our time and effort, and that's how Samradana happened.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Triple N Media. I'm Dr. NIK NIKAM, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And this dance presentation, Nartana, is going to be happening on Sunday, which is going to be October 22nd, 2017 at 3:30 p.m. at the Meenakshi Temple in Pearland, Texas. Pallavi, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much,
my pleasure. And Bangar,
thank you, Nick, for having me.
Having you again. And ladies and gentlemen,
honor.
please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so much.
your time.
Thank you.